President Jacob Zuma asked NPA head Shaun Abrahams to provide reasons why he should not be suspended. Meanwhile, Hawks boss attacks NPA head over his decision to withdraw fraud charges against Gordhan. Good evening to you. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela.
And I'm Sandile Gangose. Good evening.
To comment on any of our stories, find us on Twitter. Look for @eNews Direct. Also on Facebook using the same tag.
And tonight our hashtags are Shaun Abrams, Mtlemeza and Zuma.
NPA head Shaun Abrahams is in trouble. President Jacob Zuma has asked him to provide reasons why he shouldn't be suspended. Abrahams has until the 28th of November to respond. Rights groups Freedom Under Law and the Helen Suzman Foundation have already gone to court. They say Abrahams was wrong to lay charges against the finance minister. Those charges were eventually dropped, but the groups want Abrahams to be suspended. Meanwhile, a spat has ensued between Hawks boss Burning Mtlemeza and prosecuting head Shaun Abrahams. This relates to Abrahams' decision to withdraw charges against Finance Minister Gordhan. Mtlemeza accuses him of being swayed by the propaganda machine unleashed by Gordhan and his co-accused. The accusations are contained in court documents filed by Abrahams as part of his bid to fight for his job.
In the absence of any other evidence to the contrary, I am satisfied that Mr. Makhashula, Mr. Pillay and Minister Gordhan did not have the requisite intention to act unlawfully.
The day before Shaun Abrahams announced his decision to drop the fraud case against Finance Minister Gordhan, he got a very angry letter from Hawks boss Burning Mtlemeza. Mtlemeza accused the NPA head of being swayed by the media and legal experts, when in fact there was a strong case against Gordhan and his co-accused. Mtlemeza also accuses Abrahams of acting improperly by deciding not to go ahead with the prosecution. This just weeks after Abrahams insisted that there was no agenda behind the Gordhan prosecution.
If there's any political interference, I implore you to bring it to my attention so I can cause same to be investigated. If any person tries to interfere with me, my work, the work of members of this institution, I can assure you we will hold them before the courts.
Abrahams responded to Mtlemeza's accusations by questioning why a legal memo exonerating Gordhan and his co-accused had only come to light after the decision to charge them had been announced. He warns Mtlemeza he does not have the legal or constitutional mandate to tell him how to prosecute, and stresses his decision to withdraw the case against Gordhan was based on its merits, not public pressure. As Abrahams now prepares to give reasons to President Zuma as to why he should not be suspended, one thing is clear. There is now serious animosity and distrust between the head of the Hawks and the head of the NPA, and both are key players in the ongoing SARS investigative unit probe into Gordhan and his co-accused. Karen Morn, Johannesburg.
Let's focus on to other news now. The SABC board is in crisis. 2 members have resigned. This means Chairperson Bulayeni Mugabe is the only non-executive member remaining. However, despite the resignations, a parliamentary probe into the SABC board's fitness to hold office will go ahead.
This parliamentary committee was set up to investigate problems at the SABC. They met for the first time, as 2 more SABC board members tendered their resignations. Chairperson Bulayeni Mugabe is now the board's last non-executive member.
As things stand now, unless and until everybody that is on that board indicates that they are stepping down, we are duty-bound to continue with the process, as expensive as it is. It'll be unfortunate, but it's something that we will have to do in the interest of justice.
MPs have identified a number of witnesses who will testify, including the so-called SABC 8. The senior journalists were fired for questioning the SABC's policy on banning the broadcast of protests. 7 of them were later reinstated. Recently, the group have reportedly received death threats. Lawmakers say their safety must be a priority.
We must be able to afford them confidential interviews where they meet the committee without journalists. If they they don't want their names to be known. Or if they want to submit evidence without their names being attached and anything, we'll decide whether the evidence is credible or not. So those are the categories so that their safety is constantly guaranteed.
Former public protector Thuli Madonsela is also expected to appear before the committee. It was Madonsela's report that stated that Claudia Mtswaneng's appointment as Chief Operating Officer was irrational and unlawful. MPs say her testimony will be crucial.
The primary source here for the report, as the author of the report, is the former public protector. And I don't see what the problem is in inviting her to come and give evidence before the committee and for us to ask her questions.
MPs are also set to look at the failure of corporate governance at the SABC and massive financial losses in the past few years. The committee has until the end of February to complete its work. Bongadlwane, Parliament.
Nearly 5,000 people have been affected by the recent flooding in Gauteng. Today, President Jacob Zuma visited Alexandra, one of the hardest hit areas. Zuma told residents his government is working on finding a permanent solution to their housing woes.
This mother is desperate to find her daughter's body. It's been nearly a week since 3-year-old Evelet Chauke disappeared in flood waters in Alexandra. She slipped out of her father's arms as the water gushed around them. President Jacob Zuma visited the area to assess the damage on Tuesday. These are the scenes that greeted him. He told the community his government has a plan.
The medium-term plan to find a space to take these people, to put them in the temporary housing, while they will be solving the problem for the long term.
But some residents aren't holding out much hope that things will change.
Paul Mashatile came here, he said nothing. President came here today, nothing different, the same. So you can't say we can be relieved.
Pardon me,
yes.
But he has said that people will be moved, that there will be work that will be done on Yaske River.
It's not a new thing. There is Extension 9 where people have been moved to and strata remained.
While the Chauke family prays their daughter will be found, the Gauteng government is expected to announce on Wednesday whether the area will be declared a disaster zone. Malunke Lupui, Alexandra.
A war of words has broken out between the Democratic Alliance and the eThekwini municipality. The DA wants answers after the council spent 46 million rand on the Essence Festival in Durban at the weekend. The party claims the event was a failure. It says organizers resorted to filling the stadium with complimentary tickets on closing night. But organizers say the DA is just trying to discredit the municipality.
The Essence Festival is aimed at providing a platform where international performers, local artists and experts mingle. And this is what went down in Durban, with the municipality spending 46 million rand, culminating in a gospel concert on Sunday. The Democratic Alliance supported the plans, but now says the 8-day festival was a flop.
Public funds were used to buy alcohol. That's a major concern for us.
Ngwango says organizers battled to fill the stadium.
Many people at the stadium got free tickets, complimentary tickets. Even some councillors, in fact, were given like 2 or 5 tickets just to make sure the stadium is fair.
But eThekwini municipality officials say the claims are untrue.
I think statements like those will be coming from a person who's so desperate to discredit the event.
Inkatha Freedom Party officials backed the organizers, saying the attendance was excellent.
I was there at the stadium. There were so many people. We were counting thousands of people who were there. And if you talk about 400 people who have attended, even people who were sitting on VIPs were more than 400.
The municipality has promised to make the ticket sales records available to the public. Skushangase,
Durban.
Let's look beyond our borders now. Egypt's highest court has overturned the death sentence of the country's former president, Mohamed Morsi, ordering a retrial. He was sentenced for his role in a mass prison break during the 2011 uprising, in which President Hosni Mubarak was toppled. Morsi faces a life in prison for terrorism offences. He was elected president in 2012, but was overthrown by the military a year later after protests against his rule. Around 90,000 children have returned to class in Nigeria's northeast. Most of them were uprooted in attacks by Boko Haram, which controlled the area for several years. A military offensive has improved security in the region after driving the militants out. Despite this, though, the insurgents continue to carry out occasional raids. Leader Mmusi Maimane has laid criminal charges against President Jacob Zuma over state capture allegations. He's outlined possible criminal offences committed by various people in an affidavit. Maimane laid the charges under the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. They include corruption, corrupt activities relating to contracts, and failing to report corrupt activities. Maimane cites the state of capture report in his affidavit. We end with this. Lawyers of student activists Mcebo Dlamini want all charges against him dropped. Dlamini is facing charges of theft, assault, public violence and malicious damage to property. These relate to fees must fall student protests. His legal team has written to the NPA to have all charges dropped. They will approach the High Court once they've received a response. If you've missed any of the stories we're tracking for you tonight, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct, or you can head on over to our website. That's eNCA.com/direct. Your business news and your weather after this. Welcome back. It appears Telkom has got its groove back and it's staking a claim in the data and fiber broadband market. The company reported a revenue increase of more than 6% to just over 20 billion rand for the 6-month period ended September 2016. Telkom has also seen a 42% growth in its mobile subscriber revenue.
They are firstly very strong set of results. I think that despite the very difficult conditions, to post a revenue increase of 20%, our EBITDA is up about 4.6%. What has been the big driver really has been the performance of our mobile business. We've seen broadband revenue grow by about 40% and overall service revenue grow by about 37%. BCX as well has made a solid contribution. But with all of that, actually, it's still a very difficult trading environment. Customers have a lot more prudent about what they buy. They're looking for lower prices. They're looking for a lot more value. So it was quite important for us to really make sure that we connected with customer requirements all the time.
Let's see how the markets close today. Here's your weather with Joel Guy.
Welcome to the Weather Center. Throughout Tuesday, we had winds blowing from the Indian Ocean, pushing rain clouds into the south coast, southern KwaZulu-Natal, and eastern parts of the Mpumalanga and Limpopo province, where we had light rain and drizzle in places. At the same time, we saw thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon across the central and eastern interior, even resulting in a tornado over the Free State. Now, here's what you can expect for your Wednesday. It's going to stay stormy from the northwest down into southeastern South Africa and extending into the eastern Highveld areas. Drizzly weather is forecast for the Mpumalanga and Limpopo escarpments in the afternoon, and towards the evening hours, rainy weather sets in along the south coast and the adjacent interior. We are going to see a thick layer of high cloud across much of the western interior. KwaZulu-Natal is going to be partly cloudy with thundershowers in most areas. Are pretty hot in most places. Durban warming to around 30 degrees. We are also expecting a hot one across much of the Eastern Cape with thundershowers for the eastern areas. Light rain for Port Alfred and Port Elizabeth, where a high of 24 is expected. Light rain is also forecast for the southern parts of the Western Cape. Cape Town should get away with partly cloudy skies, warming to around 25 degrees. It's also going to be partly cloudy across much of the Northern Cape. Very hot in most places over the northern sections. Thundershowers are forecast for the easternmost parts of the province. We are going to stay with thundershowers across much of the Free State. Bloemfontein warming to around 29 degrees. Thundershowers are going to persist over the northwest, Vryburg and Mahikeng, reaching highs of around 30 degrees. It's going to be partly cloudy and dry for much of the Limpopo province. A bit of drizzle for Tzaneen, Polokwane, reaching a warm 25 on Wednesday afternoon. We are expecting light rain and drizzle from Mbombela, and thundershowers are forecast for the Mpumalanga Highveld. We stay with unsettled weather across Gauteng, Pretoria, warming to around 28 degrees. On Thursday, we should see isolated thundershowers over parts of eastern South Africa. Cloud and rainy conditions are forecast over the southern areas. Then we end the work week with rain for KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Mpumalanga, thundershowers in Gauteng and parts of Limpopo.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, tea time will never be the same again as bars across the world add Rooibos tea to the season's favorite party mixes. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Rooibos extract can prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes.
And with that, it seems a whole new Rooibos movement is emerging.
So much so that bars across the world are now adding the leaf to the season's favorite party mixes.
It may look like your ordinary brew, but the spot of Rooibos tea is shaking things up, quite literally. Mixologists from London, New York and here at home are using the popular tea leaf as a healthier option for a cocktail base.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, besides it looking so incredibly pretty, what about the Rooibos makes these cocktails so amazing?
Yes, it's a great antioxidant and it's got 0 calories. So I guess it's a healthier option than your traditional cocktails with all the other sugary stuff.
Rooibos only grows in South Africa and over time has been used in an assortment of products with amazing results. So what does all its popularity mean for the country?
It's a miracle product in a miracle country, and Tanya, it only comes from South Africa. So in terms of exports, we're already exporting about 50% of the annual crop. And what we're going to do as a council, we're going to keep growing that crop because it means exports. It means financial currency, hard currency coming into the country. It means job creation.
It's being dubbed by mixologists as the season's favorite party ingredient. And patrons seem to agree.
I've ordered the Cuban Affair. It's so refreshing. It's a little bit of pear, not too much, and there's a slight kick at the end, and obviously the taste of Rooibos is amazing.
So if you're looking for a health-conscious drink, you don't have to look any further. Just always remember, everything in moderation. Tanya Neft, Cape Town.
A reminder of your top stories before we say goodbye. President Jacob Zuma asked NPA head Shaun Abrahams to provide reasons why he should not be suspended. Meanwhile, Hawks boss attacks NPA head over his decision to withdraw fraud charges against Pravin Gordhan. The eNews Direct team.
Yep, on the other side of the commercial break, Rhythm City.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.